I remember the Rhythm Nation project, I wouldn't say became a necessity, but it was like the automatic next step after we'd successfully launched Chihuahua with Daddy Zimas. And the reception was really good there. And I remember then my boss, Mr. Chisha Folotier, he's like, okay, I think we've gotten like a good test of what the market wants. And I think it'll be nice to test out new talent, you guys, let people explore these new sounds that, the new Zambian music wave has to offer. So I've got this idea and I'm thinking of calling it the Rhythm Nation Project. So I was like, why do you want to call it that? I said, listen, I believe this is the future. Yes, Zimas has made an impact and he's created a buzz, but now let's take it up a notch. And that's how it came up. Okay, he was looking at the future, and he had big plans for Mondo Music, and that time I remember we were coming off a background of heavy piracy, heavy infiltration of Western music that literally came into Zambia and obliterated every local sound that previously had a fighting chance. So his vision was to basically pick up from where Teal Records had left, because we had Teal Records here in Zambia where we had legends like your Keith Levels, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we had the Akim Simkondas and Patrick Sembele and them. So we kind of had record companies back in the days. And this was before the advent of even CDs. Then people used to buy music on vinyl, and then later on, cassettes. Yeah. So when you bought an album, it had the material value to it. You buy an album and it's got its picture there, and you can hang it up in your bedroom and whatnot. So that glory had been lost because of all this piracy and whatnot. So Chisha's vision was, we need to bring that glory back. We need to, let's now work with the new talent. Let's cultivate this talent and take Zambian music into the future, and hence Rhythm Nation. Okay, the selection process was quite brutal, and I remember quite a few hearts were broken. Yes. Basically, you had to send in a demo of whatever you could do just to showcase your either writing or singing or rapping ability. And then the Chisha and his close friend then would sit down, and then they would listen through these tapes. But anyway, CDs were not very commonplace, so it was tapes. So they listen through your tape, your audition tape, and then they pick, okay. And I remember some artists, we had to invite them over to the studio to record their demos, me and Joe. And then time started running out. Chisha was like, you guys, you haven't submitted your song yet. You guys are the producers. Because listen, this is a very transparent process. Mm-hmm. If you do not submit, you're going to be left out of the Rhythm Nation project. And they're like, yeah, but sir, we've got like 5 more artists to record, and schedules were crazy and stuff. But eventually we did it. And I remember we submitted 2 songs. There's one that Joe had written, and then there's one that we wrote together. It was like a piano, very scanty version of Bwalya. Mm-hmm. And that's what we submitted. So, yeah. Generally, yeah, we worked very, very well together. Rivalry, I think it's anywhere where there's, testosterone, you will get a little bit of that. But it was healthy. Yeah, it wasn't like, you're going to find someone stabbed you in the back and stuff like that. No, it wasn't. But yes, we would get those brief moments where you'd see a bit of a competitive flair here. No, but listen, why don't the melody go like this? No, listen, I've done music and it's supposed to go like this, But it never got to a point where it became, World War III or anything like that. But no, it was good vibes all the way. Okay, there's been a lot of for years and years, and I've never had the end of this story to say, okay, but what inspired it? Well, let me tell you the actual real truth. I remember me and Joe, we used to play in a band called Bishop. So we were both vocalists. Then I was both vocalist and keyboardist in the band, which was then headed by Sir Jones, which most of you know him. He's a very, very amazing guitarist. So we used to live together. You know, we rented an apartment in Rhodes Park, and we had some of the band equipment that we used to keep there. So I was very heavy on keyboards and stuff. So I remember one afternoon, you know, like after a heavy weekend, you know, Friday we're performing, Saturday we're performing. So it was Sunday, just sitting. You know, there are those Sundays where you just want to sit and listen to, you know, listen to some jazz. And they're like, oh, let's try out some chords. And we were playing piano, and then I remember the opening melody. It was inspired by, I think I just come from listening to a Celine Dion song. So the keyboard work there was amazing. I thought, this is so, what do you think this would talk about? I don't know. Then Joe walked in and said, why don't they call it Bwalya? Bwalya, oh, okay. And it was Bwalya. And then it was Bwalya for many weeks. We just shelved. You know how it is when you write a song and then you kind of shelve it. It doesn't click yet that it's going to be anything. I've got like hundreds of melodies I've written and they've never gone anywhere. So it's, nobody was one of those. But then it was Bwalya. Now when audition time came and we had to submit, we had now matured in our appreciation of our songwriting, and they said, you know what, we're men, we're guys. Ain't no way we're going to be talking about another guy. Let's make it a ballad. Let's make it about a girl. So let's call it Nawali. So who's Nawali? Oh, okay. Maybe it's you had an argument with, and you know, she took off, you know, heartbroken, and basically your typical baby comeback song. So that's how Nawali came to be. And a lot of people ask me this, and I need to put this out just to clear the air. About a year later, after the song had come out and made noise, we actually met a girl whose name was Nawali. Oh, Lord. So everybody had already concluded, like, oh man, I think you wrote this song about her. Like, nah, it was nothing like that. But yeah, that's, in a nutshell, that's the Nawali story. Man, it was an amazing time, and it was so long ago. I think we did everything crazy that one can possibly do at the studio. We had a lot of fun making these songs, and we got to meet a lot of interesting characters. And I must say, I found very, very particularly interesting Black Muntu. Recording them was hilarious. I mean, those guys are crazy. Then we had a group called Serious K. This is a guy, he raps Nyanja, but with a Tonga accent. I was like, wow. Yeah. And then Tribal Cousin, Chatel, who else? There's some artists who came, and I had a lot of hope that we'd still hear from them now, but they've gone into other career paths and everything. People like Muntanga, we had Beige. Who else can I think of? Well, yeah, funny moments I can't really remember. I think we goofed around, and I can't really remember. All I can say is that we had a lot of fun making it, and for particularly me and Joe, when we were making Bwalya, we said we want this to be the Zambian version of Boyz II Men, and that's what we set out to achieve. My favorite song, well, I was going to say the song we did, but I'm trying to be impartial here. I would say the one that really, really struck me was Beige, It's Alright. It was a new sound, you know, and I love the way, the utilization of the way they played with the bass riffs, and then trinkle in a guitar. To me, it was a new sound, then, and it struck me quite a bit. Of course, Bwalya,
Yes.
because I was part of that. So number two, we had a great time actually. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention the song we did with Chilu called Shibuka. Yeah, that was a very intelligent take on how to bring out the Zambianness, the way we use the marimbas, but we used it on a heavy bass. And if you remember, around that time, the Nigerian music that we know now was not there. Yeah, they didn't have it, but we were already scratching. We were looking for this sound. Okay, it's a bit modern, but it's got a bit of traditional. To me, when I think back now, I think that Shuka was one of those songs which was kind of, hinting in that direction. And then my third one would be a song by Request. By Request had a very, very heavy thumping song, and I just love the way, when you go performing out live, people will just go crazy every time it plays and stuff. So yeah. For me, embarrassingly, it's the reaction from the girls. Yeah, like the other people perform and whatever, but the moment you come in and then you start belting out those smooth notes, just the way the girls would just scream and everything, I was like, oh wow, this is so cool, let's do it again. Kind of thing. Those were actually a surprise. I didn't even know those were being done. Our boss surprised us with that when he says, oh guys, by the way, the album is done. I want you guys to come for a pre-listening session. Yeah. And we went there, and there are all these crazy interludes. I'm like, you guys, what did you smoke when making this? And it really, for me, it's just icing on the cake, and guys telling, common street jokes. Like, the one about the guys talking about how he was sleeping, and then you hear the noise outside. The guy comes out. So I want to guys, because I want to recognize it, my strangers. So yeah, I mean, that was the humor back then. Yeah. So that was before there were memes on social media, and yeah, that was the in thing then. So yeah. I think even the album was received even better than I'd hoped. Because, I mean, listen, it's the first time we got young Zambian artists, young Zambian singers with a new sound. And it's available on professionally packaged cassette and CD for you to buy. And it's coming from a well-organized record label. Of course, people go crazy about that stuff. And from there, quite a lot of artists found, paths that led into careers that some of them are still enjoying to this day. Wow. Yeah. So it was a great success. Rhythm Nation changed a lot of things. I think Rhythm Nation set the pace for a lot of the music that we're listening to now, and a lot of artists. I'll pick out JK because I think, in my opinion, he was like the most successful experiment come out of the Rhythm Nation, and he went on to do 2-3 great albums with Mondo Music. So, and from then, the Zambian music has just never been the same. Yeah. So, yeah, it did quite a lot.